love it when people walk in here and says it feels like it's a party. I mean, every time I'm up here, it's a party. Hello, of course, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna kick it off. As you see, kind of solo up here. I don't have my twin. I don't have anything. So that means I'm going to need a lot more energy from you guys to kind of keep things going. It's Verna. For those of you who are joining us online for the first time, I'm here with the Market Center leadership team, about to bring you a lot of value. You know, the theme of this meeting is your business is only as powerful as your books. And so we're going to get into that a little later. But right now it's time for Bucket Fill. So who we got? And I probably need some of y'all because I don't have my trusted Nimesh to mess with. Tell us something good, including you guys online. Tell us something good. Tell me something. That's right, Barbara got it. Ooh, you got something good. Tell us something good.
I have Astros tickets for the home opener.
Woo! You got Astro tickets for what? For me?
The home opener.
No.
Oh. No. I do have an extra one, but I think it's spoken for.
I mean, just holler at me later. Don't tell nobody else. Just, you know, come see me. All right, good. Anything else? Professional, personal. There we go.
First closing on Monday.
Well deserved. Got the first closing coming through.
I'm back. I met Pam, and
Yay,
I'm gonna,
she was looking for you.
and I will do it.
Woohoo! All right, see that. Loving it. Anybody else? Oh, here we go.
I just want to say, give a shout out to Norman. Norman is our trainer for the Texas MS 150, and we will be cranking out 150 miles in about 2 weeks. So please pray for us
until he gets on that bike. Then he will work you all nice. He was like, oh, that's all you can push. Right. Anybody else? Is there still room for anybody to join on that training? It's a little late. Y'all got to wait till next year to die. No, I'm just playing. To die. All right. Well, we got a jam-packed meeting, so we're just going to be moving on unless there's something else here or online. Where's my clicker? Oh, there we go. All right. So we got some announcements here. We have Ramadan is coming up. It is, please join us for the 8th annual Ramadan Iftar dinner. It's gonna happen right here in the Morris training room. You will see some more flyers all around, and we do have a sign-up sheet for you guys, and we can pass this out, okay? We welcome our fellow agents to observe this day of fasting with us between dawn at 5:33 a.m. and sunset at 7:59 p.m., right? You can also, if you don't have an opportunity to sign up here, especially those of you online, you can sign up at the front desk if you would like to participate. This is an opportunity for us to kind of come together as a family and just kind of celebrate and worship all at one time. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up right here and or the front desk. Okay. Great. There we go.
Thank you. How's everyone doing? Awesome. My name is Greg. I handle the marketing for the office. I'm gonna give you guys some updates. Remember, Shredding Hunger, we mention it every week, is April 30th. So, you know, we're getting closer to that day. It's like in 2 weeks from now, basically. So,
yeah,
you know, I know all of you should have received your flyer. Who has not received their flyer? Awesome. So everyone here has it. So shoot me an email. Yeah, no, I want to make sure you have it. So if you could send an email, gregorys@kw.com, and I'll make sure you have a flyer. You know, this is your advanced opportunity to reach out to your database, to nurture your database, essentially generate leads and market yourself as a real estate agent. And of course, it's really important that we give back to our communities as an office. Part of our culture is giving where we live. So all the donations will go to East Fort Bend Human Needs Ministry. Of course, if you have your own documents to shred, of course, you know, you want to get those documents shredded. And then if you have your own donations, you should be donating as well, in addition to everyone else that you invite. Taking advantage of the class that we have tomorrow.
Tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 10:30, myself and my twin, Nim, we will be delivering great content in different ways for you to go ahead and prospect and use this. And it is literally a drag and drop into your own system. You're going to walk away with some social media posts already ready to go. a whole marketing campaign ready to
Scripts,
go, scripts,
emails,
emails,
smart plans.
video, content and everything ready to go. So just come in here, 9:00 a.m. Myself and Nimesh will be teaching that class.
And now another reason, an incentive to really take advantage of that class. So we're doing a competition, a social media competition with Patent Title. So sponsored by Patent Title. We're gonna have a photo shoot. So we're gonna do a photo shoot for 5 agents. The top 5 social media posts, and we see in the aftermath of the event, we're gonna give a photo shoot for it. So we're talking about full photo shoot at a builder's home, a lifestyle photo stuff that you can use for your new headshot, could be a full body edit. So we're getting a really great photographer. So it's gonna be really top notch. We're gonna have more information about that, but it's gonna be pretty simple. You're gonna attend the event, of course, because everyone here is gonna be participating in Shredding Hunger, right? 2, you're gonna donate because everyone here is gonna be donating, right? That's easy. That's the easy stuff, right? But then at the event, you're gonna take a photo, right? Could be you with other agents. It could be you with clients that you invited. It could be you with Verna. That's the cheat code. Take a photo with Verna, right? Right. Take a photo. Whoever has the best photo, we're gonna, you're gonna hashtag KW Southwest or hashtag Patent Title, and then we're gonna look at the best photos. We'll have a vote, and the best photos, top 5 photos, will win a photo shoot. So that's really awesome.
And that's part of your actual Shredding Hunger kit, toolkit, right? It tells you about taking photos and videos during that day. You just didn't know you'd be entered into a contest for that as well.
Yep. Thank you, Melissa, for that.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Awesome.
And Chad kind of put a challenge out there last week when he said if 200 of our agents, right, just put out this Shredding Hunger information to 200 people in their database, we would have at least 1% showing up. That's 400 to 500 people showing up. And that would be larger than, I guess, the most recent times, right? So just do it. I know I've done it myself. I just pushed it out there, just like the toolkit says to do. And I've had several people already commit to coming. That's more than the 2 people that per agent that we were saying. Okay, so just put it out there. If you don't know what to do, come see us tomorrow at 9:00 and we'll teach you how to get it done.
Awesome. And then last thing, guys, I've been building out additional templates and content for you guys to use. So that's still being built out. We have about maybe 23 to 30 templates now. Every week we're adding new content. We're sending text and email alerts regarding marketing tips and things from experts as well. So more of that is coming soon. Some of the top requests I'm getting from agents is you guys want some scripts for video content that you could post online. So we're working on some scripts. So we're working with a professional writer who has experience developing scripts for agents, so we can have that. And that's all free stuff for you guys. So that's coming into work. So awesome.
I hope y'all see the value in all of that, because it's really empowering you guys, one, leveraging your time because you're utilizing our resources, and then definitely making you stand out. Okay,
well, thanks, guys. So happy, guys.
Hello. You gotta mute you. Yep. Okay. We didn't have anything from MCA, so we're gonna roll into our meeting. So I was telling you guys that today we're focusing on your books, because your business is only as strong as your books. And when I say your books, yes, it's plural. Okay. We're talking about your book of business or your book of relationships. These are the book of business and the network that you actually have, right? That's your database. How are you communicating to those people? How are you staying engaged with those people? And how many times are you actually contacting those people? Real estate is a contact sport. So we've been talking about database and how to really attack that database. Shredding Hunger is one of those ways, right? So today we're going to look at the other books, right? There's the book of charts, which is your organizational structure, your business and financial structure, your profit and loss and tax sheltering, right? We're not going to look at all of those, but pieces of that. And then the book of opportunities, investments, mergers and acquisitions, personal development. Those are all the books that your business is really relying on you to be successful. So today we're bringing up an accountant. Her name is Kim Huggett. Huggett. All right. Kim Huggett, she's going to talk a little bit more about you personally, your taxes, because tax day is coming, right? For some of y'all, you should have already filed taxes, depending on how your organization is actually structured or your business is structured. She's going to talk about different types of structuring. So you do have a handout out there. So you have something that you're walking away with today. One of it is for you to take notes for what she's discussing, and the other is something that you can also take to your accountant. It's a realtor's guide to accounting and taxes. Of course, if you don't have an accountant, guess what? We got one right here for you, right? And these are all the things that you can kind of deduct or use as your expenses or deductions for business. If you don't have one, I'll come around and give you all some. But then last week, several of you guys mentioned that you would love to get a specialist in here that can help you with empowering your clients when it comes to tax sheltering. How can they keep more of that money? We talked about inflation and the recession coming, and where are people going to leverage those assets and where they're going to put it. So we have in here Juan, what's your last name? Deschamps. From Quest Trust Company. If you don't know about Trust Trust has about 8 billion assets that they're working on right now, right? And how many clients? How many assets are y'all? Do y'all have? 3 billion under management, and how many clients? 18,000 clients. So pretty large, pretty savvy. So he's an IRA specialist, and he's going to come and talk to you guys about that as well. And then after that, we'll have an opportunity for you guys to ask any questions. That includes you guys online. And then we'll roll on with the rest of our meeting. Y'all good? All right, give them a warm Keller Williams Southwest welcome. We'll bring up Kim first. We'll just go straight to your, oh, we weren't done.
We weren't done.
Red Day?
Red Day's important, y'all.
Well, what's after this? Okay, so that was supposed to go before me.
Go.
So Red Day, in case you forgot, Red Day is coming up May 12th, right? And you have an opportunity to sign up if you haven't signed up. We have Tasha, who's over the committee. Tasha, did you want to say something real quick? I heard some of your fans online here talking about, woo! Yeah, come up real quick. Tell them a little bit more, I apologize, about Red Day real quick.
Okay. Where's Renee? Come on, Renee.
Come on, Renee.
So Red Day, you guys all know about Red Day. So right now, our goal is 100 volunteers. We have 72 already. So we need 28 more volunteers. You can sign up using the Sign Up Genius that's in our Facebook closed group. We are, t-shirts are going fast. So if you have signed up, please go and get your t-shirt. Barbara is handling the t-shirts. We also have a, they're $10, cash or check, right, Barbara? Cash or check. May 12th, we have 2 shifts. We have an 8 to 11, and then we have an 11 to 2 o'clock shift. Our sponsors for breakfast is Majestic Title. We have AMCAP and Patent Title for lunch and beverages. And we have a happy hour sponsor at 3 o'clock. Select Title will be sponsoring our happy hour at 3 o'clock. So the main thing, guys, is sign up. We want 100 volunteers. It's super easy. We're giving back to our community. This is the biggest community event for Keller Williams, and we want to see 100 people out there. So did I
So
miss
y'all
anything?
come through.
Red Day stands for? Oh yeah, Red Day is renew, energize, and donate. It's our biggest event.
It's an opportunity for us to give back to our community.
Yes.
So we give where we serve, we serve and where we live, right?
Right.
So
That's
you
it.
guys take advantage of that. Did you have a?
Yes, well, I have a giveaway. So I gave away something last time. So I have a giveaway for today. And if you can tell me, what do you need in order to participate in Red Day? Is something that you need
For
in
this
order
Red Day.
for this Red Day? Nope. Nope. Nope.
What'd you say?
That's it. Your plus
Got
liability
it.
form. That's
The
it.
liability form. Good job.
Yay.
Make
Okay.
sure you see Barbara or connect with
And I have
the
some
team
here
for the
if anybody
liability
needs them.
form.
Okay.
And there's also a link as well,
There's a
right?
link. Yes, there's
Okay.
a link. Okay.
Winner, winner. Thank you. Okay, Miss Kim, now you're on. All right.
And you can have this clicker. Oh, bless you. What do I click? Just this.
Bless you. Thank
Move
you.
forward of that.
Okay, I'm gonna try and keep it short today. It's not exactly my art form, I'll be honest, but we're gonna condense down. So we're gonna be talking about what we want y'all to know about tax day. So we're gonna skip forward a little bit. Some of the conversations I'd like to have, and anytime you like, my phone number, my card is the last page of the presentation there. Free first appointments. I'd love to talk to you in more detail about your business specifically. But what we're going to talk about today is deduction specifically. There's more to talk about as far as entity types and what's best for you individually. But today we're going to talk about what's best for you as a for deductions. Art form of moving fast. It's not my gig, y'all. Hold on, let me get there. So we'll skip past the entity types, but again, if you want more information about that, give us a call. So here's the question everybody asks me: how do I save money on taxes? And first answer is easy, entity types. We talk about that another time. But number two is stop losing out on deductions. I meet with a lot of realtors. I work with a lot of realtors, and so I've come to know the general personality type that tends to come from my realtors, especially in the beginning. The first meeting, my favorite meeting, the first meeting with a realtor where they come in, it's their first year that they made real money, and they didn't mean to make real money, and they didn't know they were going to make real money that year. So they didn't run the business like they were making real money. That's usually my first meeting with folk. And we're going to talk about ways to avoid having that happen to you. So how do we stop losing out on deductions? Here's a collection. First of all, why is accounting important? We need to keep organized. We need to have backup for our tax returns. I have a lot of people telling people, you don't need to keep receipts under $600. Not true. You don't need to keep receipts for really anything, because if it goes through your bank account or your credit card statement, that's covered. Not true. If you're audited, the auditor will require seeing receipts, period. Nothing else. They won't accept anything else unless you have a great person arguing on your side. When they look at your return and they say, here is your expense that you claimed, prove it. The way they want you to prove it is to give them receipts that equal that number. If you give them receipts that equal half that number, your deduction is now half that deduction. It's the way it goes. So I've sat in many audits, and that's if your tax preparer has never sat across from an auditor, they may not be giving you the best advice. They will tell you what you can do, what they think you can do, what you can get away with. But if you've never sat across from an auditor actually having to defend it, you're lacking something there. So our goal is it keeps you held accountable. It makes you at the end of the year go, how have I spent? What have I spent? What benefited me with my business? What didn't? It guides that decision making. Did I spend more on advertising and I made more money, or I spent more on advertising and I didn't make any more money? That's how it helps you. Oh, and it keeps you out of jail. We need to track our stuff. It keeps you from getting in trouble with the IRS. The out of jail is a joke. You don't go to jail for wrongly reporting. You go to jail for lying. So some of the deductions we missed. This is the big deal. Travel. Keller Williams. How many of y'all went to family reunion? Deductible. All of your training, your coaching. When people are offering the coaching here at This World, all deductible. It's worth it. If you're getting benefit, if you're buying a book that's helping you, if you are getting your real estate, the Millionaire's Realtor, am I saying that right? All deductible. Seminars, again, getting in there, getting training, your gatherings through Keller Williams, they are deductible. Education and training, all in there. One of the things I want you to be careful on, I have a lot of realtors that take cruises that they believe are fully deductible. And if you sat across from an auditor and your cruise ported anywhere outside the United States of America, it is not a deductible cruise. Just be warned when you're making those decisions. Mileage deduction is probably one of your biggest deductions. It's what you do. You drive around, you see people. Understanding what you have to keep that mileage deduction is vital, because the truth is, If you walked in with exactly what they say you require to an audit with your mileage log, I wrote down who I saw, I wrote down what day it was, when I started, what my starting mileage was, what my ending mileage was. And you slid that across the auditor, they would slide it across and say, I don't accept it. You have to have corroborating evidence to back those miles up, i.e. oil changes that have mileage listed on it is going to match the date of your mileage log or the time frame of your mileage log. That is going to back up your deduction. I have had many auditors decline a simple mileage log because anybody can write it after the fact. There's nothing to prove it if it's just written down. You need corroborating evidence. Mileage apps, definitely be using them. Start them every morning. Everything you do for business, if you are going to the Office Depot to pick up supplies, it's part of your business. Don't lose those deductions. What do we got next, folks? 5 mistakes that'll cost you. Not keeping adequate records. Again, the first time sitting down with realtors usually involves me saying, so what do we have for deductions? And they go, let me think. You should be running absolutely everything, this is number 2, through a business bank account. It can be more than one, but it should be a separate business bank account. That business bank account is going to make sure that all of your income, you know what your income is because you know what your deposits are. You know what your expenses are because you look down your bank statement and they're all right there. You don't have to go hunting through your personal return account. You don't have to go hunting here, hunting there. If you're going to use a credit card, use a single credit card specifically for business, even if it isn't a business card. Not making quarterly tax payments. Right now is when everybody's regretting not making those quarterly tax payments. Painful situation. Those quarterly tax payments are what mean you, at the end of the year, you can just do your taxes. You've maintained making payments throughout the year. Some people make 10% payment on closing as soon as they close. It's handled. Your taxes are pretty much done then. No questions. Not using apps to track your expenses. Again, you're losing expenses because you're not tracking them. Trust me, if you're estimating your expenses, you're underestimating every time. I've seen people do it. They estimated, then they went back and got totals for me. Trust me, you're underestimating. You are giving the IRS money, putting it in their pocket. And the last one, I have an addendum to it. Used to be hire a tax professional. Now it is hire a competent tax professional. I have sat across from people lately bringing in returns from previous year from me that makes me sad and nervous for them. I have a person that said, well, listen, I get to deduct my child even though they're not living with me. Last accountant said so. And she said, I get a credit for it. I looked through a return. The credit she got was for a solar hot water heater that the accountant had put on there that she obviously had not bought. Solar hot water heaters run about $40,000. Her income for the year was barely over that. There's no world the IRS would have seen that as real. That's the game people are playing. And while IRS has been quiet and off to themselves before and the last couple of years, and many of y'all are young, so for you, the IRS has been a quiet thing that hasn't been the beast that we all know it can be. They're recharging the beast. It's coming back. They're gonna find a way to get their money. And it's going to be by auditing the middle class that doesn't have the money to defend themselves. Have your books in order to keep yourself safe as beforehand. So you guys have a list of deductions out on there. It is a complete list. If you want to give me a call, I think we have a little spreadsheet we do for our people, really not our people, for anybody that asks. A little spreadsheet that helps you with getting together a profit and loss. Seriously, the biggest thing I would say at this point, making sure you're running your books through a separate bank account. Doesn't have to be business, a separate bank account. Running it, all your income, all your expenses through the account makes life so much easier. And the last thing you want is if an auditor comes looking, that they start line by line going through your personal bank account because you didn't separate, you commingled your funds. If an accountant is going through your personal bank account, you're answering questions like, gee, I noticed you got $50 there. What was that? Oh, that was a football pot. Did you claim it on your return? We don't want to have that. Make sure you're running a separate account.
Is it possible to get that sheet electronically, the handout?
We will place the handout and the I guess the slides on our Facebook page for both of them, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay. I mean, we already have the link, so I'll just forward it to you when I sit back down. Oh, you have it? Okay, yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, come on through. So now we'll talk on the other end, because as you notice on that second sheet of paper, the one with the deductions, one of the things that Kim recommends is that you have a retirement plan, right? And you are affiliated with the Simple IRA, especially as sole proprietors. So we have one here who's an IRA specialist, and he's going to tell us a little bit about Quest Trust and other information.
Yeah. That's right. No worries.
You have your thing on there too for everybody to see.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Awesome. Here we are. So I'm gonna time myself because if not, I will go over. And so, hi, I'm Juan Deshawn. I'm one of the IRA specialists at Quest Trust Company. We deal with self-directed IRAs, but I do a lot of education and traveling to just touch on these topics. So I know a lot about IRA accounts in general. The rules are generally the same, whether you're dealing with a company like mine or dealing with a Fidelity or Charles Schwab. But where we specialize and where ours is different is our clients that utilize these retirement accounts can invest into alternatives. That's where the self-directed comes into play, and we'll chat about that in a second. So we'll fly through this information. It's also kind of an hour of stuff, but I've condensed it down. Like she mentioned, we do have about 18,000 clients. We manage a lot of assets, a lot of that even being cash sitting there waiting to be invested, because we don't deal with anything in this public market. It's all private. A lot of real estate investors, a lot of people funding private loans, a lot of people investing into LLCs, syndications, commercial properties, those kinds of things. And we're kind of that service. Like I mentioned, we do a whole lot of education. Just check our website out. You'll see a bunch of different things, questtrust.com. And you'll see a bunch of free classes that you can kind of watch and review and to see different topics and case studies and such. Weekly webinars as well. So we have networking events in person. We have webinars that happen for free throughout the week, twice a week. We have happy hours that are for kind of deal pitching and such. So if you're interested in those kind of things and you are an investor yourself, this is a good opportunity. If you're looking for investor clients, also a good opportunity to network. Disclaimer before we get into the education piece, I am not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, a financial advisor. I do have these 4 little letters behind my name, CISP, just means Certified IRA Services Professional. I specialize in just IRAs. I've studied publication and IRS laws as it relates to IRA accounts. So I know what you can and cannot do with them, how they function. But again, when strategizing your taxes and situations, you want to speak to? All right. All right. That's my little disclaimer there. So first thing we have to define is what is a self-directed IRA, because you want to essentially be able to define that for anyone asking you and maybe any clients. There should have been a little written thing. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Maybe it comes at the end. But either way, what it is an IRA is very similar to anything you maybe you're already familiar with. An IRA at Fidelity, a Roth at Fidelity, a 401k plan, all those rules are the same. The term self-directed is for marketing purposes. It's actually just so you can differentiate and say, okay, this one is used for alternative investments. I can direct it myself. I can decide what I want to fund or I want to invest into. It's not limited to the stock market, mutual funds and such, which you can do those at the same time. This is just another opportunity. And it offers these benefits like diversification, of course, tax savings to your IRAs. Social investing, you're investing with people you know, people in this room. If you have a retirement account and you have a retirement account, or you have a deal, you guys can invest together, right? So that's kind of the social investing aspect, and invest in what you know. In this room, you guys are dealing with real estate constantly. You may find good opportunities. You may have clients who have good deals. You may have people who are constantly saying, I'm looking to borrow money, or you're looking to borrow money for your investments. Self-directed IRAs may be a source of that capital for you. Type of plans, I don't know why the written stuff isn't popping up, but I know it off by heart. So type of plans are 2 personal plans. So everyone that has just income, earned income, can have one of these plans, a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. They're the most common plans out there, right? To go quick, basically the Roth IRA is the account that you can put money in. It's a glorified savings account. When you take the money out after retirement age, 9.5, anything you've earned through investments comes out tax-free. The traditional IRA, probably the most common personal plan out there, is that pre-tax account. Common because people usually transition to these plans from old 401k plans from old companies, and they have this money that they haven't paid taxes on yet. And so when that transitions over, it transitions to a traditional. And that traditional IRA continuously defers taxes till later on. So if you have clients that are investing or you're investing yourself with IRAs, you may be using that traditional IRA more than likely, but you may be seeking out that Roth IRA, right? The employee plans, the one that I think is better for the people in this room. As sole proprietors, as you kind of figure out essentially what your business is, you can have your own employer plans. I work for Quest, they provide me a 401k account, right? I'm not a self-employed person, but when you have your own personal income, you can kind of provide yourself with those, think of them as mini 401ks, each one with different advantages. There's three. There's a SEP IRA plan or simplified employee pension plan, probably a very common one, a simple IRA plan, and a solo 401k. Very powerful accounts. To go over them very quickly, a SEP IRA plan is one where you can put roughly up to 25% of what you make a year into this plan. It's capped out at a certain dollar amount, but let's just say you reported 100 grand. Theoretically, you can put in about 25K into that account. Then you have the simple IRA plan. This one, probably not very common for people in this room. This is for people who have small businesses, have less than 100 employees, and want to provide them with some sort of matching and incentive program. I think of a dental practice when I think of this plan. A lot of them have these. And the solo 401k, very, very powerful plan that allows individuals with absolutely no common law employees to be able to really have think of it as exactly a 401k plan, make large contributions, have complete checkbook control of the plan, and really diversify and invest it how you see fit. Being trustee of your own 401k plan is very powerful. And that can be self-directed, invest into real estate and such, et cetera. So that one's a very, very powerful plan, very sought out as well. A lot more details on those plans. We actually have a class on our website that goes over these plans. And then the last one, specialty plans. These are ESAs and HSAs. So very quickly, an ESA is a plan that you can set up for any child under the age of 18, and you could actually completely invest it as well. An HSA plan is for those who are high deductible health plans, can actually have an additional HSA. You might have one if you already have one, and you can actually invest this as well, not just in the stock market, but non-traditionally. I use my personal Roth IRA and my HSA at Quest to invest into private lending. I make loans on my IRA accounts and charge interest rates. That's a private loan that I cannot do with Fidelity, but I can do it with a trust company. Now, to circle back a little bit on the tax deduction side of things and how you can take advantage of it now, these employer plans typically provide you with some sort of tax advantage, right? So they would give you tax deductions. An HSA plan, if you contribute to it, will give you a tax deduction as well. So there are plans that you can utilize as well to give you tax deductions and see benefit now as opposed to later for retirement. When I look at investments, all of these can be used together. Like for example, I said I use my Roth and my HSA together to make investments, right? So you can have multiple, you're not stuck to one. One thing you want to know what you cannot do are restrictions. This graph right here is fairly complicated, but it actually really isn't. So in the IRS guidelines, essentially there's people and things you cannot invest into or invest with. And as long as you follow those things, you're usually in the clear. So what this is reading here is essentially when you have an IRA account and you look to make investments, you can't invest into anything that's going to be with you as the account holder. I can't buy a house and go live with it if I bought the house in my IRA. I can't give myself a loan out of my IRA account. But not only myself, I can't do that with people such as my spouse, my children, my parents. So your lineal descendants and ascendants, right? Additionally, those companies that those individuals may own and control. So if those are the people you're trying to deal with making deals, most likely cannot involve your IRA. But outside of that, people in this room, if you're not family or someone related like that, then you probably can make deals together or find opportunities. And then actual investment restrictions is just actually two things that the IRS says you cannot do. So they never said you can't invest into real estate, they just don't blatantly say it. But there's two things that you cannot invest into: life insurance contracts and collectibles. Examples of collectibles is like art, right? Or alcohol beverages actually is also a collection. So that's a weird one, but you could do that, or you cannot do that. One thing you can do now actually is cryptocurrencies too. Some people were like, can you invest in the cryptocurrencies in your Roth IRA? You actually can. You have to have a custodian or I guess a wallet that allows you to do that with the retirement account. It is possible. Quest is actually doing it now with the main coins. And so if that's something you're interested in, it's a possibility for your IRA. At Quest, these are the common investment choices that we see clients invest into. Now, this is not where it stops. Again, it could be anything, but this is what we see. Real estate, private entities, LLCs, trusts, etc. Promissory notes, like what I do. Private lending could be secured notes, could be unsecured notes where I'm lending money and I have collateral or I do not have collateral. So really, it's kind of just depends on what you are into and what you can do. But the point of this, and because we have short time, is really just to show you the things that you can do with these retirement accounts. It's first important to start a retirement account. Most of Americans are retiring with very little retirement funds to really continue on the lifestyle that they're maintaining when they have a job. And it's very sad when you look at the statistics. So these are alternative ways to hopefully give you opportunities to grow that retirement account differently using your knowledge and not just taking it to the stock market like we traditionally do. But you don't have to become an expert in these topics. That's why people like myself exist. You can just give us a call, right? And I have business cards as well. I'm happy to hand it out. On our website, you'll find live chat. You can call us anytime, or you can email us. That's my department email address right there, irspecialist@questtrust.com. Anyone from my team will respond in under 5 minutes if we're not in the meeting. So they're fairly quick with that. I'll give you my card as well. Again, as I mentioned, a bunch of free events, Quest Expo events. We have a once in the year big event on real estate, alternative assets, not just self-directed IRAs, that people in this room might take advantage of. If you're looking for networking, if you're looking for just constant education, we bring a lot of outside speakers across the nation to come in with 50+ vendors and such to just educate on alternative investment opportunities. Go to questexpo.com to see more details. If you're interested, let me know. This is a ticketed event. I can give you guys a discount. Just questexpo.com though, for that one. Look more details. And then if you ever need an account, there's always some kind of promotion going on currently for tax filing. For this last week, we have a promotion where we don't charge you for the account opening. So if you're interested in that as well, just please let me know. But tax filing is coming up, so I know you're busy. We get busy at the time as well. People are looking for tax deductions. People are looking for different ways to, because they're seeing that they're going to owe taxes a lot. So they're finding different ways. And sometimes that is actually just making contributions, like I mentioned, to HSAs, to SEP IRAs, to even some traditional IRAs if you qualify. So, well, that's my information. I went 54 seconds over. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, the QR code. Which one?
That one.
This one? Or this one? Okay. Yeah, that QR code is a scheduled consultation. I can give you my business card to you. You can shoot me an email. Yeah.
Okay, so time for questions. You guys are spot on your time there. You want to come back up, Kim, too? What questions do you guys have, both online as well as here? Take advantage of the opportunity to leverage off of their expertise and get your taxes in order in your retirement plan. Oh, I guess I'm back to this. Just wait, let me think.
Well, I was just gonna ask, does contributing to something like a IRA can count as any sort of deduction?
Yes,
Okay.
a regular IRA, you get the deduction current. Roth IRA, you win over time, but with a regular IRA, yes, you get up to $6,000.
Yeah,
Seven
seven
if you're over 50. 6,000 tax deduction. You have till April 18th to do that. Actually, you don't have to have it done by December 31st. You have till tax deadline. So, and do we get extension with that? Do they?
Not with the
I didn't
traditional
think so.
IRAs. With SEP IRAs, however, the employer plan, that one actually gives you to the extension. And that one's a little different on the contribution, not a set number. So we'll have to figure out how much you make in a year, essentially, and find your contribution. But that can give you deduction as well, up to tax filing plus extensions, which is if you file for an extension, I think October 15th.
15th. Yep. 17th actually this year. I
17th
believe
now,
it is
because
this
always
year.
a Monday. Yeah.
Does that also apply to solo 401ks, the extension?
The extension, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, but the setup of the solo 401k has to be by tax filing in order for it to count for 2021.
so if it's already set up, you could contribute to it and it count for 2021.
Yes.
Okay,
If it's not set up, then you have to do it basically this week. Otherwise,
And
it
if-
count for 2022.
and if it's the extension, you have until October. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Does the solo 401 need a 5,500?
If it's over 250K. Easy. What she asked was if a solo 401k needs a 5,500, which is a tax form, it needs an 5,500 EZ if it's over $250,000 in value. If it's over $1 million, it needs 5,500. If it's below 250, it's actually not required to report it, but I think it's wise to report it.
Anybody else?
When you're looking at the printout on mine, the first page on the deductions list, I put the wrong phone number. My card's at the back, y'all. Give a call. If you don't have an extension filed, we don't charge to file extensions. If you need somebody to get that done before the 18th for you, give us a call. We can get it taken care of.
The extension that you mentioned for S Corps, when was that deadline?
March 15th.
That's what I thought. Thanks.
And remember, you're getting, you have a $50 per shareholder penalty per month. So that's one of those things you want to get going quickly if you miss the extension.
So let's ask the question. I know you didn't get into entity very much, but what is the benefit of having, because since she mentioned it, an S corp as opposed to a sole proprietorship?
And let me preface with, definitely speak with your broker with Trek. There's a lot of rules to a realtor being an S corp, but an S corp is beneficial because you'll be saving about 60% on, 15.3% on 60% of your income. So you're going to take 60% of your income in distributions versus payroll. You're going to become a W-2 wage employee of your own company. As realtors, you know how much it makes it easier to get loans when you have W-2s. So there's a lot of benefit to being an S corp, including a reduced risk of audit. But 15.3% tax on 60% of your income is the short answer.
And you can set up your own 401k with S corp fairly easily with W2 income. Well, you can do it either way, but S corp makes it a little organized.
Yeah, one behind you.
My question is, how would you work with the depreciation of a business vehicle, and how would you get that included under the business?
I'm sorry, depreciation of what?
Of a business vehicle?
So that's one of those I like everybody to be real careful of, because accountants love to tell you, you can take your whole vehicle, you can take the depreciation. The moment your vehicle becomes a business vehicle officially and you start taking depreciation, you also start paying property tax on it. So the deduction you get on your vehicle tends to be balanced out and lost in paying property tax as long as you own it to the county you live in. So my advice is often stick with your mileage reimbursement. You're probably going to get more in the long run.
Okay. That's what I
Since we're on business vehicle, aren't there specific vehicles that you can deduct?
Yes and no. So a larger vehicle can be depreciated with the 179 expense completely. That rule was set in place because in the 80s, they gave us that 179 expense. And so all the business people went and bought Mercedes, and that upset the IRS. So they put a weight limit on it of 6,000 pounds, which, believe it or not, has to be a pretty big vehicle to get to 6,000 pounds, which is why you see so many rich people drive SUVs. That's why they changed from the small Mercedes to the big SUV, mid 80s, early 90s. Weight limits help. Yes, is the answer. But you can always deduct a vehicle over the 4 years, and you can take 179. It just depends on how much you get to take of it.
Okay, so more realtors are gonna be flossing. All right,
They gotta get a G-Wagon, is what I heard.
right. We got a question online.
Yes, I didn't know if I was in line, but I guess, so my question is, like, if you start out, like, let's just say, for instance, receiving your commissions via personal accounts, and you decide to switch the next year, you want to file, is it okay to do that? Because I noticed that in your presentation, you said, hey, the common mistake that people do is, like, I guess putting their commission into their personal accounts. What if you started out that way and then you wanted to switch?
The sooner you make the change, the better. When an IRS agent's looking at your things, which the goal is to never have an IRS agent looking at your things, but if they do, they acknowledge change. They acknowledge if you're sitting across from an auditor and you say, you can see the first 4 months, I didn't do very well. I didn't save the receipts. I don't have what I need. But you can see that I changed, and you can see this still backs up what I have. You can win the argument that way. So the sooner the better, make the change. It's worth it.
Right, thanks.
We had some other questions regarding to suggestions for apps for the mile tracker, for deduction,
Mile IQ is great. Everlance is a good app that's cheap. Expensify is one of those free ones, taking pictures of your receipts. QuickBooks has a very early entry that lets you take pictures of your receipts and categorize them. Be careful with that listen, I'm a QuickBooks Pro advisor. I love it, but be careful with it because it likes to categorize most of your expenses into one category that you don't realize is happening until the end. There is a mile tracker. I have more people complain about that one than the others. And again, QuickBooks Pro advisor, love me some QuickBooks, but I seem to have more complaints about the QuickBooks mileage tracker than I do the Everlance and Mile IQ. There was one other new one I can't remember. I believe Mile IQ does, and I'm not sure on Everlance. Good question. I got to look into that.
Just so y'all know, I will get these apps and place them on our closed Facebook group as well. So you guys can just go straight to the closed Facebook group. I'll try to pin it to the top. We're almost asking what we're pinning at the top, but we'll pin it at the top so you can get that as well. And I'm assuming I can also somehow get your QR code and place it on there too for a couple of different things.
Also-
If you have one specific to your card or number or whatever, shoot that to me as well.
And one of the things that I want to tell my realtors, always be remembering your time versus money situation. My realtors often underestimate their value of their time. A lot of times it's worth it to have somebody else doing things, i.e. your bookkeeping, things like that. Figure out what your hourly rate is. Look at your yearly income. Break that down to an hourly rate if you worked a 40-hour job and see what kind of money you're making. It's often far more than you think. And you need to understand what your time is worth so that you can decide what you spend your time on. Should I be spending my time selling houses or should I be spending my time bookkeeping? Is it time for me to hire out? Am I making enough money to do those things?
Okay, any other questions? All right, well, we truly appreciate you guys coming through and the value and knowledge.
You have a question, right? Okay, I'll have to send you stuff.
Okay, awesome. If, again, you guys, please support these people. If you find value in what they were saying, and if you feel like they're professional enough, they have their contact information. Again, I'll place the stuff on our closed Facebook group as well. So now we're gonna jump into the part that you guys are already familiar with, our current partners, Patent Title, AMCAP, and did Reliant come in at all? Nope. All right, come on, sisters. Ebony and Ivory.
Am I going first?
Yes.
Hi, most of y'all know me, Catherine Albee with AMCAP. I am in the office right next to the front desk. So today I wanted to talk to you as buyer's agents and as seller's agents, which normally we just deal with buyer's agents because we do the loans, right? But as a seller's agent, when you get an offer, please look at the date of that offer, because as we know, rates have gone way up. If that offer is in February, you need to make sure that that client still qualifies for that dollar amount. As a buyer's agent, if you haven't gotten, I'm saying within the week, not even within the month. If it's over a week, go back to your loan officer, please. Please have
offer clarity. You mean like their
before
approval?
before you're submitting your offers, go back to your loan officer, only because what they were approved for last week might not be the same as what they were approved for this week. I hate to say it to you guys, but it is that drastic. You know, rates, we all see it. It's been spoken about several times, but at this point in time, don't just submit that offer, because once the loan officer gets back to the file and looks at it, you might not have a deal anymore. So please, 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 please go back to your loan officers. That's it, especially with new homes, especially. Can I give you so you can talk to me?
Sharon Parker said you better check them new home folks. Especially new homes.
I mean, okay, so there's no current interest rate, because interest rate is determined on your loan to value. It's determined on your credit risk report. your credit score. It's determined on your debt ratio. So is there a general loan interest rate? No, there's no such thing. Where are rates right now? We're in the fives. Yes.
Hold on. You
Coming,
need the
coming
mic.
to you, coming to you. Yeah, I haven't even seen her up here.
Hi. I don't think
Come
this
on,
works.
join it, join.
Are you sure? Oh, geez.
You gotta
Okay.
be right.
Sorry.
Come on.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Here.
I just want to say from a title perspective, things have, we're definitely seeing a lot of loan officers coming back and saying, hey, we need to update this loan because they are now not approved for as much as they were. And that is a big difference when you have loans for 1.5 million and now they're only approved for 1 million. So, you know, things of that nature, it is a good idea too.
So basically, she said she's seconding what Catherine said.
Yes.
The title is noticing that is
She will
becoming
do
a
it.
challenge with the buyers and when they're under contract, because they're having to say, you know, we have to go reevaluate their loan approval. Okay? So,
Hi. Well, Angie, why don't you stay up here? So Angie is one of our processors. I'm Melissa Lima, patent title downstairs. So I was going to talk real quick about what to bring to closing because there's some miscommunication sometimes that realtors don't think a certain thing is needed. So why don't we talk about what is needed to bring at closing to title?
Number one, always bring your originals. So if you
Original.
have an original power of attorney, an original heirship affidavit, any document that had to be notarized, we need the original in order to do the recordings. This can be for a multitude of reasons, but also, and most importantly, there's a lot of out-of-county properties where that county does not e-record. So we have to send them the originals to record these documents. And additionally, we also need valid IDs. Make sure that they have a valid ID.
It doesn't always need to be a driver's license. So think outside the box, like NASA.
Government issued
Yeah.
IDs. So passport works. And, you know.
An ID for NASA or, you know, a company that is government issued. Also, closing funds need to be in a cashier's check, wire, or a personal check for $1,500 or less.
And that personal check for 1,500 or less, that is a company policy that varies by the title companies you go by. So that it's good to check with your title escrow officer just to see, you know, what they're willing to accept.
And a couple more things. It's good to communicate from the beginning with the title company just to make sure that we know exactly the situation of your clients. Like, are they married? Is it going to require that the other spouse is going to have to sign? Where is that spouse? Is the spouse in jail? There's a multitude of reasons, you know, are you married? You know, that's a big one. And then what else did I write? Any heirs or anybody that would need to sign that is related to title. So communicate from the beginning as far as like we had a listing and the guy's in jail, you know, so we need to know.
I was wondering where she pulled that jail thing.
I know.
I've actually got 2 files with that.
2 files. After we got the contract. Mhm.
And if you have heirs.
Well, we're in a dangerous business. Folks in jail shooting people. Like, okay, we got one more question.
My husband passed away, so at during my title, I had to bring the death certificate.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I'm bringing this up because you look young, and so your husband, you know, he may have had children. If there are children, sometimes they have to get an ad litem to represent that child because you cannot own property if you're, you know, under 18 here. So.
She was just stating that she was adding to it that her husband passed away, and one of the documentation she had to bring was the death certificate. So,
And we use that death certificate to verify the spellings and, you know, just making sure that everything adds up, basically, so.
all right. Well, you guys can definitely get with Patent Title if you have any additional questions, and they help out. Oh, yeah, first anniversary. go
Yes,
ahead.
one more thing. We have our first anniversary party on the 19th from 4 to 6. We don't have enough of these invitations left. So if you can text Candy to 21000, and I'll put that again. I put it in the closed Facebook group. Candy, I'll write it. Yeah. Candy, text Candy to 21000. Yeah, we have some downstairs. And my fun facts.
Yay.
Oh, this is a good one. Do you know hot water can be turned into ice faster than cold water? This process is called Mpemba, the Mpemba effect, which is temperature dependent. So hot water freezes faster than cold water. There you go. See? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, this is Tiffany Thomas, our branch manager. A lot of you know her, and that's Angie Poffenberger. She just got married, so it's a new last name, so Poffenberger. But no one ever gets to see them. You all just get to see me most of the time. So Tiffany and Angie.
Welcome, welcome. All right. So as we're closing out, we definitely wanted to bring our lunch sponsor for today. He is always well welcomed. Very interesting thing that he does there. But we have Jim with Green Air Technology, who is our lunch sponsor today. Come on up.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
How many of you know who I am and what I do? A few of you? Okay, all right, great. A lot of new people. This is awesome. So, by the way, if a spouse murders somebody in a listing you just took, if you will see my colleague's shirt over here, you will see that we also do crime scene cleanup. So we can help you with that. Anyway, this is Tim Burkett. He's my crew chief.
Chad is gonna be like, what did you do when I was gone? I'm like, Chad, people were getting murdered, put in jail, and cleaned up. Like, I don't know.
So,
They didn't file their taxes.
and for what it's worth, even Hillary Clinton would hire us. So anyway, Tim's passing out my card. What I'm really known for in your world is I am the stinky house guy. Cigarettes, cigars, cats, curries, cadavers, we don't care. If the house stinks, we fix it. Obviously, cigarette smoke is our number one call. You know, that's the number one objection to buying a house. 53% of the houses that don't get bought is because of the smell of cigarette smoke. So we fix that. We can make it so that it smells like nobody ever smoked in there before. Ever, and it doesn't come back either. So my number one rule on smokers' houses, and any stinky house for that matter, really, is don't try to paint it to cover up the odors. The house may need to be painted when we're done, but don't paint to cover up odors, because it doesn't work. The odors always come back, and it just makes my job harder, and I'm going to charge your client more. So any type of odor, if you need a plug-in, a candle, if you got to bake cookies to make the house smell good, you need to call me. Give me a call. Let us get in there and take a look at it. Cigarette smoke, obviously, like I said, number one call. Crazy cat lady houses, we had a lot of those last year. I don't know why. We had more of them last year than any other year. I don't know. A lot of them decided to give up the ghost or something. Another big thing for us is hoarder houses. And this is where I can be a real big help to you. A lot of, the investors really they're very predatory in getting those hoarder houses and run down houses. Many of those cases, we can go in and clean those houses up really nicely and make it so you can actually get a real fair market value for your client, rather than hawking it off to an investor who's going to give them a couple of $100 less than it's actually worth, and he's going to put $20,000 of work into it. So think about things like that, and don't be afraid to take a listing like that either. because you've got somebody that can fix those problems for you. So, the other thing too, and this is becoming wildly popular as gas prices surge. If you show a house that stinks, all you got to do is text me the listing, text me your name. I will not use your name, but if we end up taking care of that house, you will get a $100 gas card. So a few people have taken me up on that. Just something to think about, Mold, another big thing that we do. We are mold remediators. So if you get a bad mold, if you get a mold inspection back from a buyer or a seller, whatever, give us a call. Let us take a look at it. In many cases, we can save your client tens of thousands of dollars on mold. The biggest thing is I don't advertise on TV like ServPro and Paul Davis. I don't own a franchise. It's my company, so I don't pay any franchise fees. So we generally run about a third to a half of those guys on a daily basis. And we generally will get the job done in less than half the time of them because we don't drag it out for the insurance money. We want to get in, get the job done. And in most cases, we can do most mold jobs in one day. And the very next day, you can get a mold inspection, get a passing certificate, get the house sold. There's no reason to hold up a sale for a week in most cases. Sometimes there is, but in most cases, most things can be done in a day. Tim's my crew chief. He's top notch at getting these guys in there. My crew works really hard because we want to get onto the next realtor and help them out and get their house sold. So the phone number that you have is on 24/7 because we are an emergency company as well. So we do fire, flood, you got a toilet leak in the middle of the night, hot water heater, whatever breaks, give us a call. We'll be there. We will take care of you. Also, quite frankly, if you need some prayer in the middle of the night, give me a call. It's a good number for that too. Shoot me a text. So anyway, God bless you. Enjoy your lunch. I'm going to stick around for just a few minutes and answer any questions you guys may have. Go sell something.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. All right, everybody, just remember that your business is only as powerful as your books. Have fun.